Adjusting your rear derailleur can be challenging, especially if you're not sure what all these adjusters do. Trust me, I've been there, and I'm here to show you exactly what each component of your derailleur does and how to set up and adjust it properly. All you'll need for this tutorial is a Phillips screwdriver, a 5mm Allen key, some lubricant, and a rag. Let's get started. Almost all modern derailleurs function the same basic way. They are designed to move or derail the chain from one sprocket to the next. The upper guide pulley moves the chain in both directions. For instance, when you want to climb a hill, you adjust the shifter to a lower number. This pulls the shift cable and forces the guide pulley to change to a bigger sprocket. When you want to go faster, you adjust the shifter to a higher number. This releases shift cable tension and allows the derailleur springs in the body here to pull the guide pulley back down to a smaller gear. Each time you shift gears, the length of chain changes. The lower chain pulley is spring-loaded to take up the slack. There are three main adjustment screws on most derailleurs: the B screw, the H screw, and the L screw. Adjustments on these screws should always be made in quarter-turn increments. The B screw controls the derailleur's body angle in relation to the sprocket set. Shift up to the largest sprocket and check the distance between the guide pulley and the larger sprocket. If the guide pulley is rubbing on the sprocket, tighten the B screw clockwise to increase tension and move the pulley away from the sprocket. If there is a large gap between the pulley and the sprocket, loosen the B screw until the pulley rubs the sprocket, and then tighten it until it just clears. The H screw prevents the guide pulley from shifting any further past the highest gear and into the axle. In order to adjust it properly, there must be no tension on the lower cable. If you feel tension, loosen the cable adjuster until there is none. Now check from behind how the chain is riding on the smallest sprocket. If it looks like it wants to ride off into the axle, tighten the H screw clockwise until it lines up. If it looks like it is rubbing on the next gear, loosen the H screw until the chain is nicely centered on the sprocket. Now readjust the cable tension until the derailleur shifts smoothly down to the next gear. The L screw prevents the guide pulley from shifting any further past the lowest gear and into the wheel spokes. Shift down to the lowest gear, step behind the bike, and check how the chain rides on the sprocket. If it looks like it wants to ride into the spokes, tighten the L screw clockwise until it is centered on the sprocket. If it looks like it wants to shift down, loosen the screw until it lines up. As an extra precaution, you can use your thumb to gently push the derailleur body and make sure the chain will not run into the spokes, as this could obviously have a nasty effect on both you and your bike. The cable tension adjuster defines how far up or down the derailleur moves. Step back so you can see the chain and sprocket alignment, and then run through the gears in both directions, first shifting up 2 and down 1, and then down 2 and up 1. The chain should look centered on each sprocket. If it is rubbing on a larger gear, it means there is too much tension on the cable. Loosen the tension by turning the adjuster clockwise. If it wants to jump down to a smaller gear, it needs more tension. Increase the tension by turning the adjuster counterclockwise. Now that your derailleur is properly adjusted, always apply a drop of lubrication to the adjustment screws and pivot points. This prevents wear and tear and makes sure your shifting is always smooth. Never use WD-40 on any part of your bike, and wipe away excess lube to make sure that no dirt collects. Thanks for watching our tutorial on adjusting your rear derailleur.